Thank you, Mark. I think I've seen 3 or 4 different dates that are supposed to be the dates we completely abandon New Year's resolutions. And I think the last time I read it, it said January 13th, everyone's done trying. Dr. Tracy Alloway joins us. It's a Mental Wellness Wednesday. And we love when you join us because you typically will address things that our viewers have asked you to talk about. I think we always hope that we're going to discuss this subject this time of year, and that sometime we'll stumble on the true secret of keeping a resolution. You're saying let's just not even do those, do something different.
Right. So actually science is on the side of that approach. We should really just abandon setting up New Year's resolutions because we're really setting ourselves up for failure. What we should do instead is think about our value system. Think about what's important to you rather than looking at something that's socially prescribed, like, oh, I should, run more, I should go to the gym more, I should change my eating. Science and studies show us that when we set up those, it's called a feelings mindset, what we think we should do, whether it's society telling us or even a family member kind of prescribing this, we're far less likely to follow through. But if we stop and reflect, what are the values? What are the things that you find important? So for example, if you're saying, well, I find my health important, then we will find a pathway to make ourselves more healthy, whether it's the gym or daily walks or whatever that might look like for you.
So in other words, it's more about the end and not the means in this particular case. What are you hoping to achieve? And now let's talk about this, your future self. I love this exercise and I really feel like we need to work on this. Maybe when Mark gets back next week, we'll sit down and we'll all do one of these. But it's a kind of a composite of your future self, and then you do an alternate one, you say, of what you would look like to yourself if you didn't try to fix some things.
Exactly. So this is based on research as well. And a study came out just a couple years ago to show that if you spend just 15 minutes writing down your ideal future self, what would what would Tracy, what would Eden look like a year from now? It doesn't have to be 10 years in the future. And it doesn't have to be an exercise that you do every week or every month. The research actually showed that once a year is sufficient. But creating this ideal self, what it does, it sets up a positive expectation. So you think, wow, that could be the me in a year from now. And it actually motivates us to then create these goals to help us achieve that. And the kind of parallel to that you mentioned briefly is that the research also shows that we should create an alternate self. What would Tracy, what would Eden look like if we don't do any of these things, if we just stick with the status quo? And it's almost that contrast. Researchers call it the goal framing effect. So you have these two goals. You have your ideal self and your status quo self, your present self. And seeing that contrast motivates us to think, I should do something. I want to make a change for myself.
So I think the first step, though, of course you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is you need something kind of realistic, though, right? I mean, you're not going to write yourself out to be Wonder Woman or a superhero with a cape. I mean, it has to be something logically that you can get to. Am I right?
Absolutely. And that's where this values mindset comes into play, stopping to reflect, what would future me look like embracing these values? If I want to be someone in the community, what do I value in my community? Do I value volunteering? Do I value giving of my time? Do I value education? How can I then manifest, or how can I then represent my ideal self in that way?
It's a whole new way to think about things. It really is. Where can people find you? Tell us all the ways, and not just find you, but even suggest or request topics for future Wednesdays.
Yep, so I'm on social media, Dr. Tracy Alloway, on Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm also online, tracyalloway.com, and I love when I hear different comments, just sharing some of these feedbacks of topics people want to hear for Mental Wellness Wednesday.
She's extremely accessible, and for that we're very, very grateful. Thank you very much. We're going to be right back.